Are you tired of being weighed down by past mistakes and regrets? In this video, we will delve into the powerful lesson of letting go of past mistakes and embracing the present moment. Lesson 1. Be mindful of your actions. Buddhist work revolves mostly on mindfulness. First of all, you must develop mindfulness in your daily life if you are to quit obsessing on previous mistakes. Being totally present and conscious of your ideas, emotions, and actions is the discipline known as mindfulness. Through awareness, you start to see how your mind works and how it clings to past mistakes. Conscious awareness of your actions will help you to see how they affect your feelings and ideas. Rather than behaving impulsively, you start to view your actions as decisions with results. This knowledge helps you to own your actions without allowing shame or remorse to paralyze you. Mindfulness is sometimes developed in Buddhism by means of meditation. Learning to see your ideas without clinging to them requires silent sitting and focused breathing. This exercise lets you realize your ideas are only fleeting mental events. They are not who you are. Realizing this makes it simpler to let go of ideas about past mistakes. Being mindful allows you to be more deliberate with your present moment activities. Mindful behavior reduces your likelihood of making mistakes you would come to regret. While mistakes do happen, mindfulness helps you to instantly and constructively address them, instead of allowing them to fester and develop into further cause for anxiety. Mindfulness also helps us to pay attention to the here now. There is less brain space for revisiting prior errors when you are totally absorbed in what you are now doing. This tendency of always thinking back on the past can be broken over time by means of this practice, therefore enabling you to begin living more completely in the present. Lesson 2. Emphasize on solving rather than complicating issues. Buddhism stresses the need of correct thinking, that is, of focusing your mind toward constructive and pleasant ideas. Oftentimes, worrying about past mistakes causes one to spiral into negative thoughts. Buddhism invites us to concentrate on solutions rather than on the problem. When you make a mistake, the natural response is frequently to dwell on it, mentally rehearsing it, and wishing you had done otherwise. Here the mind can turn into a prison, locking you in a cycle of self-criticism and remorse. This kind of thinking, nevertheless, does not make the past different or provide you comfort. It merely accentuates your guilt and anxiety. Buddhism holds that rather than moping over the error itself, you should concentrate on what you can do to make things right or stop it from resurfacing in the future. This change in emphasis is really strong since it turns anxiety into activity. Focusing on solutions helps you to recover control and purpose, therefore reducing the weight of regret. If you wounded someone's feelings in the past, for instance, consider how you might atone rather than constantly berating yourself. Maybe you could apologize. If that is not possible, you may vow yourself to be more thoughtful in next contacts. The secret is to direct your focus from the issue toward the fix. Right effort is the deliberate decision to grow good traits and release bad ones. When you concentrate on solutions, you are engaging in right effort. That is, attempting to better yourself and your situation instead of allowing past mistakes to pull you down. Lesson 3. Keep your mind busy with other activities. Keeping your mind occupied with constructive and good tasks helps one of the best strategies to avoid obsessing over past mistakes. Buddhism holds that the mind is like a garden. Neglect of it will allow weeds to flourish. Often negative ideas and concerns, these weeds represent keeping your mind busy with useful activities, helps you avoid these bad ideas from germinating. Participating in joyful and fulfilling activities will enable you to divert your attention from focusing on past mistakes. These pursuits, physical activity, a hobby, or time with loved ones, offer a good release for your emotions and energy. They help you to turn your attention from the past into the present. Buddhism also supports mindfulness activities, yoga, and meditation as means of enhancing mental health. These techniques not only occupy your head, but also assist in developing inner serenity and clarity. Your mind is less prone to catch itself in concerns about the past when it is quiet and concentrated. Participating in acts of compassion or service helps you to keep your mind occupied as well. One effective approach to refocus your attention from your personal regrets is by helping others. Emphasizing the needs of others helps you to see life from a different angle, which might help to lessen the importance of your past errors. Furthermore, crucial is your awareness of the nature of the activities you participate in. While keeping busy is great, as crucial is making sure your activities are constructive and inspiring. Negative activities or diversions like too much usage of social media or harmful habits might aggravate regrets and anxiety. Select pursuits that feed your body, mind, and spirit. Maintaining a busy mind with constructive activities aids in the breakthrough from ruminating. Your mind is occupied with the present and involved in important activities. Therefore, there is little space for past concerns to seize hold. Lesson 4. Challenge your negative ideas. Buddhism holds that our ideas help to define our world. If our mental terrain is dominated by negative ideas about past failures, those ideas can cause stress, worry, and a distorted sense of self. One must dispute and reinterpret these negative ideas if one is to break out from this cycle. Buddhist basic lessons center on the idea of right view, which is seeing things as they really are, free from the distortions of negative thinking. Right vision helps us to critically review our ideas and views, find whether they are based on truth or only the outcome of persistent negative thinking. Buddhism also emphasizes the need of growing good ideas to offset bad ones. Remind yourself of your actions properly instead of dwelling on your mistakes. Acknowledge the knowledge gained from your errors and how they have helped you to advance. This method of questioning and reinterpretation of negative ideas is a kind of mental training fit for Buddhist practice of mindfulness. You can stop negative thinking from ruling your mind by deliberately challenging their validity and awareness of your ideas. You can release the grip of regret and advance with more peace of mind by challenging the accuracy of these ideas and substituting more fair and constructive viewpoints. Lesson 5. Know that mistakes are normal in the learning process. Errors are considered in Buddhism not as failures but rather as chances for development and education. Anyone who battles anxiety over past mistakes needs this viewpoint. Knowing that mistakes are unavoidable and normal in life can help you let guilt and remorse go. The Buddha advised that life is an ongoing education trip, positive or negative. Every event provides insightful knowledge that advances our spiritual and personal growth. Especially mistakes are usually our best lessons. They expose our flaws, test our presumptions, and force us to develop in directions we might not have chosen. Buddhism also emphasizes the need of self-compassion toward faults. When you make a mistake, it is simple to criticize yourself, but this simply serves to widen the damage. Rather, develop self-compassion by realizing you are human and that mistakes are an inevitable aspect of the human experience. Treat yourself like you would a friend who has made a mistake, with the same compassion and understanding. Understanding that everyone mistakes will allow you to feel less alone in your circumstances. Everybody has regrets and times when they wish they could change. You are not alone in your challenges. Accepting this fundamental truth will help you to release the belief that your errors define you. Lesson 6. Decide what you can change and accept what you cannot. The Buddhist principle of acceptance is among the most freeing lessons one might learn. Dealing with past mistakes calls for this kind of instruction specifically. Many times, our regret and anxiety stem from a need to reverse previous events or change the course of affairs. But Buddhism holds that real peace results from learning to accept what cannot be changed. The Buddha taught that when we oppose the natural flow of existence, misery results. Usually, this resistance manifests itself as a clinging to the past or a longing for things to be different from they are. Realizing your limitations of control and learning acceptance will help you to release this misery. But if the circumstances are beyond your control, that is, if the error is past and cannot be corrected, then the acceptance practice becomes absolutely vital. Acceptance does not mean pretending the error never occurred or endorsing it. It implies, instead, accepting the truth of the circumstances and letting go of the want to alter them. This acceptance is intimately tied to the Buddhist idea of letting go. Letting go is the release of your attachment to the past and the want to control results. It is an act of submission to the natural flow of existence, not of defeat. Let go to release the weight of regret and let the present moment to envelop you. Acceptance lets you concentrate on what you can change, your attitude, how you responded to the circumstances, and how you will act going forward. You recover agency and empowerment by turning your attention from what you cannot alter to what you can control. Overcoming anxiety over past mistakes requires a strong practice in deciding what you can alter and in learning to accept what you cannot. It helps you to let go of the past and concentrate on the present, where actual freedom and tranquility are located. Lesson 7. Think back on your ideas and weigh several points of view. Buddhist practice revolves mostly on self-reflection. It's about spending time to review your ideas, opinions, and behaviors in order to better know you and your experiences. When one worries about past mistakes, self-reflection can be a very effective strategy for acquiring perspective and calm. When you go back over your prior errors, attempt to do it with an open, non-judging perspective. Ask yourself why you chose the paths you did rather than berating yourself. In what conditions were it? What were your plans? Investigating these issues can help you to better grasp the circumstances and the elements influencing your behavior. Buddhism also emphasizes the need of appreciating other points of view. When you think back on a prior error, consider several angles. How may the other people engaged view the matter? Their perspectives of view teach us what? This wider view will enable you to become more sympathetic and lessen the intensity of your self-criticism. If you made a mistake that harmed another person, for instance, think about their feelings and needs at the moment. Greater understanding and compassion for others, as well as for yourself, may follow from this introspection. It might also help you to make apologies and heal damaged connections. Self-reflection also entails looking at the presumptions and ideas guiding your concerns. Are you clinging to irrational personal standards? Do you base your value on past mistakes? Examining these ideas may help you start to break free from the mental patterns keeping you mired in anxiety and guilt. Apart from introspection, Buddhist doctrines inspire the habit of consulting others for direction. Sometimes an outside viewpoint offers clarity you might not have been able to see on your own. Seeking guidance, from a spiritual leader to a friend to a teacher, helps you discover a road forward and fresh ideas. By means of reflection on your ideas and analysis of several points of view, you can develop a better awareness of your past errors and their fit within the greater framework of your life. This knowledge will help you to let go of anxiety and proceed with more wisdom, therefore promoting acceptance and calm. Lesson 8. Get moving to boost your self-confidence. Often the result of a lack of self-confidence is anxiety about prior failures. Lack of self-confidence makes us more prone to fix on our mistakes and see them as reflections of our value. Buddhism holds that real self-confidence develops from within and is based on knowledge of our inherent value as human beings. Realizing that your past mistakes define nothing about you is one of the first steps toward developing self-confidence. Within Buddhism, there is a notion called Buddha nature, which holds that everyone has the potential for knowledge, compassion, and enlightenment. Whatever mistakes you have done, this potential is still within you, just waiting to be realized. First of all, start building self-confidence by appreciating your achievements. Think back on the occasions you have overcome obstacles, displayed kindness, or found success. Just as much of a part of you are these good experiences as your faults. Developing self-confidence also depends critically on learning self-compassion. Within Buddhism, self-compassion is considered as a necessary trait for human development. It entails treating yourself with the same decency and empathy you would show a friend. When you make a mistake, instead of berating yourself, show self-compassion by noting your suffering and providing words of encouragement and support. Furthermore, boosting self-confidence are Buddhist meditation techniques. Meditation helps you to establish inner serenity and stability by means of a connection with your inner self. Regular meditation helps you develop a strong feeling of self-awareness and self-acceptance, which are the bases of actual self-confidence. One very effective approach to develop self-confidence is by acting. By acting to correct your past mistakes and bring positive improvements into your life, you show yourself that you are able to develop and advance. Every little action you do toward your objectives strengthens your confidence and helps you to believe in your own ability. You can develop a strong and long-lasting confidence by realizing your inherent value, practicing self-compassion, and acting positively that will enable you to go ahead with more calm and resilience. Lesson 9. Establish appropriate personal expectations. We worry so much about past failures in part because we frequently hold ourselves to unattainable standards. We want to be flawless, to never make mistakes, and to always be in control. But Buddhism holds that these expectations cause needless suffering in addition to being unworkable. In Buddhism, impermanence is fundamental to grasp the essence of life. Every aspect of life, including our ideas, feelings, and situation, is always changing, impermanence suggests. This makes it tough to constantly satisfy the high expectations we have of ourselves. Understanding the transient and always changing character of life will enable us to have more reasonable expectations of ourselves. Remembering that mistakes are inevitable in the human experience helps one to establish expectations in line. Try to do your best considering the situation instead than trying to be flawless. Let yourself the room to make mistakes and grow from them free from strict self-judging. Practicing non-attachment, that is, letting go of the urge for things to be a certain way, is another lesson Buddhism imparts. Establishing personal expectations for yourself should be done so with openness and flexibility. Know that it's okay. Things might not always go as intended. You release the burden of needing to satisfy illusory expectations by letting go of your attachment to particular results. Developing reasonable expectations also depends on knowing your constraints. Acknowledge that you are one person and that you cannot always do flawlessly. Asking for help, scheduling breaks, and giving your health top priority are all acceptable. Acknowledging your constraints helps you to create reasonable yet demanding expectations. Show thanks for what you have done instead of concentrating just on what you still have to do. Gratitude encourages you to turn your attention from what is lacking to what is currently in your life. This optimistic viewpoint will enable you to be more satisfied and free from the weight of unreasonable expectations. Overcoming concern about past mistakes requires you to have reasonable expectations of yourself. Embracing the impermanence of life, practicing non-attachment, and realizing your limitations will help you to create a more sympathetic and balanced attitude to your own personal progress. Lesson 10. Show those you have offended empathy. When we make mistakes, especially ones that affect others, the guilt and regret may be debilitating. Showing individuals you have offended empathy and compassion will help you to overcome this anxiety in one of the most effective manner. You will be at peace and closure if you own your actions and try to atone. Buddhism emphasizes as basic traits of leading a meaningful life compassion and empathy. First of all, you should really admit the damage you have done when you have offended someone. This calls both humility and the openness to view the matter from the other side. Empathy is realizing how your actions might have impacted another person and putting yourself in their place. This knowledge can inspire great compassion and a will to right things. Showing empathy can help fix the hurts your errors create, whether that is a sincere apology, atonement, or just listening to the other person's sentiments. Furthermore, crucial is realizing that forgiveness, from others as well as from yourself, is a journey. Although you cannot turn back the past, you can show your will to support constructive change. This can entail deliberately trying not to keep making the same mistakes, becoming more aware of your behavior, and developing more compassion in your contacts with others. Buddhism holds that clinging to guilt and self-blame just serves to prolong suffering. You free the emotional weight of your mistakes and create the path for healing and personal development by forgiving yourself. One effective approach to turn previous transgressions into chances for development and reconciliation is showing those you have offended empathy. It helps you to grow in compassion and understanding for yourself and others, therefore transcending concern and regret. Stopping anxiety about previous mistakes is a very personal and transforming trip. Buddhist teachings help us to practice self-compassion and acceptance, to learn to welcome our mistakes as insightful teachings, and to find balance and harmony in our life. We may stop the cycle of anxiety and regret by being aware of our activities, concentrating on answers, questioning bad ideas, and developing self-confidence. We can find healing and closure by establishing reasonable expectations, expressing empathy to others, and practicing forgiveness, therefore enabling us to go on with more knowledge and compassion. Remember, though, the past does not define you. Every instant presents a chance for development, education, and future creation. That is, for by means of mindfulness, compassion, and acceptance, you can release the weight of past transgressions and lead a life of peace, direction, and fulfillment.